My neighbours are watching me and I'm self-conscious. Hello everybody, I'm Sarah and I'm a recorder player. Welcome back to my channel. You'll notice that I'm in a different room. This is because my next door neighbours are having a party, and from the room I normally film in you can hear them all yelling. People having parties on Saturday evenings. Oh yeah, for any of you that don't know me and have just clicked on this, my name's Sarah. I play the recorder as my job and my profession. Yeah, I'm from England originally, but I live near Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and this is my life. The question I get asked a lot by a lot of you, what does a professional recorder player actually do? It's a good question. I can really appreciate it. It's hard to imagine what that career must look like and what you actually spend your day-to-day life doing. Obviously, I can only speak for myself, and I will say every single professional musician has a career that looks different to everybody else's. And obviously this isn't going to be what every career in music looks like. I can only speak for myself, but hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea of some of the different things you can do as a musician. So maybe if you're thinking of going to study music or pursuing a career in music, or you're just really curious, this video could be helpful for you. One thing I will say is that every single professional musician that I know does multiple things. I don't know a single professional musician who only does one single thing. And that's also brilliant. I used to think when I first started studying music that you were only a real musician if you only played preferably solo concerts. But that just isn't true. I do a lot of different things and they all actually feed into and enhance each other. So yeah, I'm going to take you through all of the different things that I do, and then I'm going to talk about how much time I actually spend on each one of those day to day, week to week. So, I am the CEO of my own company, which means that I'm self-employed, and I can break down my work into three main areas. That is performing, education, writing, and yeah, miscellaneous. And again, all of these areas have to do with music. It's all based in music, and they all kind of amalgamate with each other. That's not the right word, but I think you know what I mean. So performing, yeah, I perform at concerts where people come and listen to them and pay some money and have a glass of wine and hopefully go, that was nice. In my performing life, I have a number of groups and ensembles that I play with regularly. Let's list them. They are Jeffery, which is a pop band with like drums, guitar, bass, singer and some recorder players, and we write all of our own material, and I'm on stage singing and playing my recorders, and it's very fun. Then we have Axolot. Axolot is a recorder trio. We do concerts of early music and contemporary music. We also do a lot of music theatre. We've been lucky enough to collaborate with some really great theatre companies these past couple of seasons. We also do improvisation. Yeah, then I'm a member of the Royal Wind Music. The Royal Wind Music is an ensemble that's been around for 20 years, though I only joined it last year. We are a recorder consort of 11 people playing beautiful Renaissance music on a giant custom-built set of Renaissance recorders. So we're basically a living, breathing organ. And then we have Theatre Floop. Floop is my little music theatre company, and we make music theatre for toddlers, so children aged 2 to 4. And in Floop there is myself, a pan flute player and a dancer, and our latest production is called Sleepover, and it's just a lot of fun. Babies are a brilliant audience. They get on stage and crawl around and it's great. When I say all of this out loud, it sounds so weird, but it does make sense. So those are my fixed things that I'm involved in. Next to that, I play a lot of chamber musics. Sometimes I'm a guest musician by different ensembles or orchestras or groups in the Netherlands. And I also perform as a soloist, of course. I have a solo concert, or I'll be playing a concerto with an ensemble or an orchestra. Yeah. So I spend a good portion of my musical life performing and rehearsing and practicing and just playing my instrument. Then we come to education. Maybe you can tell from my channel, but I absolutely love teaching. So at the moment I teach 1 day a week in a music school and another half day where I have private students. Those are all just one-on-one recorder lessons. I have 17 students. And then I'm really happy that I've started getting invited to come and do masterclasses. I went to Birmingham Conservatoire this year and did 2 masterclasses with the recorder department, which was so much fun. Music courses, summer schools, things like that. They come every so often. And then for the past 8 years, I've been working at a concert hall in Amsterdam called the Muziekgebouw A, and they have an education department where I work at the moment. And it's the most amazing place in the world. It's called the Sound Lab, and we have this whole array of different instruments. Most of them are kind of self-invented instruments by different sound artists that have built something and have brought it to us. And there I give workshops mainly to whole school classes on how to compose and how to improvise and how to create a piece of music together. I'm finding this really hard to speak about in English because I always give these workshops in Dutch and explaining it in English is like... Okay, after education we have writing. I do a lot of writing about music. I'm one of the editors at Blokfluitist, which is the Dutch recorder magazine. So there we do 3 issues a year, so I'm either editing articles or sometimes writing them. I write some of the CD reviews for every issue, and I do a lot of freelance translation work. Translation always from Dutch into English. I love this. It's like a puzzle. And I count this as part of my music work because I'm almost always translating musical texts. So it will be like program notes for a concert or a CD booklet, but it could also be technical notes for a concert hall, or it could be a business plan for a music ensemble. Each time is different, but it's always musical terminology, musical background, and then miscellaneous. Yeah, I guess running a YouTube channel about the recorder would definitely fall into miscellaneous. Okay, so let's think about this. Those are the things I do. Those are my jobs, if you would look at it like that. But how do I actually spend my time? What I haven't spoke about are the things that you do as a musician that take up a huge amount of your time, but you're not going to get paid for it. One of these, of course, is practice. Maybe if you're part of a good production or a good ensemble or something, you will get paid for rehearsals. Maybe. But one thing that you don't get paid for is practicing at home. And before you actually set foot into a rehearsal, a huge amount of preparation has to take place. For example, with the Royal Wind, we perform our whole programmes from memory. This could be a 90-minute programme of polyphonic Renaissance music, all from memory. And unsurprisingly, this takes hours and hours and hours of practice. Then, for example, with Jerboa or with Flute, we make the songs and we make the productions ourselves. So again, this is hours of composing music, producing it, making it into scores, putting it into the computer, brainstorming, researching. Or maybe I'll be a guest musician with an ensemble that I've not played with before. Then you really want to make a good impression. So of course I'll spend a lot of time really preparing the music, because if I walk into that room and play badly, then you know, you're not going to get asked back. I can't say how many hours a day I practice because it's different every week. The other drain on your time as a professional musician is admin. And by this I mean responding to emails, which takes hours of your day, and remember all of those ensembles that I mentioned. Well, being in an ensemble isn't just about showing up for the rehearsals, playing, going home, showing up for the concerts, playing, going home. No, each of those ensembles is a business in itself. so it needs its own organisation, emailing places to get bookings, marketing and PR, doing the finances, doing the taxes. You have to run each one like its own little business, as well as running yourself like a business. As I am not yet at the stage in my career where I have a personal assistant and a manager and a booker to do all of this for me, I do it myself. So yeah, aside from the paid work you are doing, practice and admin are a huge part of day-to-day life of a musician. So let's look at a typical week. I will have my students, which is about 1.5 days of teaching. I might be giving 2 or 3 workshops in the sound lab, which might be a couple of mornings or a couple of afternoons. I could have rehearsals with, say, 3 of my ensembles. I might have a couple of freelance translating or writing about music, things that I have to get done. I might be doing something like applying for a fund or applying for a festival, or arranging a concert that's going to happen in 6 months, but all of the admin things have to happen now. I might have a competition or a concert coming up in 6 weeks, so now I'm already thinking about what pieces I'm going to play and practicing those. And then of course I spend about 1 working day every week filming, researching, producing the team recorder videos, which I love doing from the bottom of my heart, but I have actually given myself an extra day's work every week. This basically means that I'm always working. I'm insanely grateful and amazed that I can actually make a living through doing all these things that I love doing. But the reality is that in order to make that work, you have to work often 7 days a week, into the night, early mornings, so that's the sacrifice that you make. And the thing with being a professional musician who is self-employed, you do carry all the risk yourself. So yes, in theory, I could choose to take a day off whenever I like. I could call my students and be like, I'm not coming to teach you today, see ya! And that's completely my decision. There's no one that would be angry with me. But the reality is, if I did that, I just wouldn't get paid. And I would probably have to reschedule all of those lessons. So being your own boss, on one hand, is a great thing. You have freedom, but you also have the responsibility. So in the end, if you are a professional musician, you're not only a musician, you're also a small business owner. It's quite scary because a lot of these are things that you were not trained for when you were studying how to play your instrument. I had no idea how to do the taxes for a foundation when I left school, and that's just things that you have to learn. So what is my conclusion? So I guess basically being a professional musician, it's not just a job, it's a whole lifestyle. But if you're not afraid of long hours and working hard, it's a really amazing and rewarding path to go down. Guys, I think I've rambled about this topic for long enough, and I'm sure I've forgotten to say some things, but you know what, if you're curious, feel free to ask me in the comments. And if you are thinking about studying the recorder or pursuing a career in music, it is amazing. I don't want to turn anyone off from that. Yeah, I hope you found this a bit interesting. And again, every career is different. Everyone's life looks different. This was just a little peek into mine. And in a year, it will probably be different again because it's always changing. But that's always the beauty of it. As always, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my little face down here in the corner. And up here, I'm going to leave a link to my video on self-care for musicians. It's warm. I'm going to go outside and eat an ice cream. Bye!